Don't you dare, ref. That she got the ball. Good evening, Tottenham fans worldwide, and happy Saturday evening to you all. Hopefully you've had a great day doing the things that you love. But Tottenham are back in action this weekend, and not only do we head into this weekend's game as Carabao Cup quarter-finalists after defeating City midweek, most importantly, we head into this game with the momentum. And of course, our focus does shift back to Premier League action as we do aim to put that Palace loss behind us as we prepare to welcome Unai Emery's Aston Villa to N17 in what promises to be a thrilling contest with plenty of intensity as two top four rivals face off. And from a Spurs point of view, the big question is our unpredictable form. Some people call it Spursy. So the question remains, which version of Tottenham are we going to see? I would hope it is the one from Wednesday night and not the one from Sunday. But let's take a dive into the lineup, the one that I think Postecoglou will choose to take on Aston Villa. In goal, Guglielmo Vicario does retain his place. I thought his distribution was absolutely phenomenal the other night. However, what impresses me most about Guglielmo Vicario is his commitment to improving. And what I love about that is if he improves, it improves Tottenham's fortunes on the pitch. And he's shown a real progress in coming out to claim high balls and protecting his 6-yard box, which was put under scrutiny a hell of a lot last season. And it's actually helped us tighten up a lot more on set pieces, which we don't concede anywhere near as much as we did. I do think he could have a busy day ahead tomorrow, but hopefully his strong form continues. At left back, it's the man who can't seem to get a night off. When we tried to rest him against Karabag, Radu Dragusin got sent off after 8 minutes. Destiny Udogie had to come off the bench. And Wednesday night against Man City with Van de Ven pulling up meant Destiny Udogie had to come off the bench after 14 minutes. So it will be Destiny Udogie yet again at left back. Now, this season I actually think he's been very poor defensively, which I do find disappointing considering last year he consistently shut down wingers down that side, practically collecting them as trophies. This season, however, I do think he's being exposed a little defensively. Some might put the blame down to his long-term injury layoff and say he needs time to be able to regain full speed. However, I actually see it as a matter of complacency. Without the competition at left back, his spot is secured no matter his performance. At right back, the postman was rested midweek, but he will return to reclaim the right back position. However, we continue to struggle with defending the back post on his side, repeatedly conceding similar goals. You go back and look at goals against Brighton, Man City, West Ham, and even Crystal Palace. The pattern is clear. Opponents attack down Destiny Udogie's side. They cross the ball towards the back post. And Porro, while correctly marking a runner or going with a runner, he does leave someone else unmarked at the back post. And for me, it comes down to simple communication. Shout to get Daydreaming Johnson or one of the midfielders to come in and cover that back post. He has had a strong start to the season, but tightening up back post defensively is absolutely essential. Now, at centre-back, with Van de Ven's injury, there will be a change to the partnership. And it will be Radu Dragusin who will come in, but he will be coming in on the right-hand side. And this is Dragusin's chance to prove himself, as he will get at least the next 3 games in the team. And I would say, if he doesn't seize this opportunity, his agent should really stop talking after that. The chances here, now it's up to Radu Dragusin to be able to deliver if he's as good as you claim your client is. And I do think the area that Radu Dragusin really needs to improve on is in possession when he is on the ball. For me, he makes me a bit nervous every time I see him in possession, and I'm sure Ange Postecoglou feels the same way. I do think this is an area where Radu Dragusin really needs to make an impression on Postecoglou. While he's absolutely solid defensively, the boy can defend, no question about that. He doesn't match the ball skills of Romero or Mickey Van de Ven, which for me is currently why he's a rotational player. But now's your opportunity. Let's go, man bun. And then at left-sided centre-back, Christian Romero will be pushed out here. When Van de Ven has been missing before, this is exactly what Postecoglou's done. Brought Radu Dragusin and played him on the right and put Romero out on the left. And I purely think that's because he thinks Romero can handle playing on the left-hand side with possession, whereas Radu Dragusin can, and we've seen that before. Now, I know a lot of Spurs fans are actually sweating about the availability of Christian Romero because Postecoglou has hinted that after the game there has been a lot of soreness in Christian Romero's body. However, I do expect our vice-captain to make himself available and get on the pitch because, quite simply, he has no other option. We have no depth in that area, so we're going to have to patch him up and play. Now, heading into CDM, I think Postecoglou has a big call here to make. You have Yves Bissouma, who came off the bench the other night and made a crucial block. Also has scored a couple of goals this season from that position. You have Bentancur, who I thought turned into Mercedes Benton class Wednesday night. I thought he was absolutely unbelievable in that CDM role. Probably one of the best players on the pitch. Or do you bring in the likes of Papamata Sarr into this role, who has been absolutely phenomenal of late? Of course, not only getting in around the midfield, mucking in, doing people's running, turning balls over, making a nuisance of himself, but he's also starting to provide the goals and assists that many people claimed that he had. So a big decision in this CDM role for Postecoglou to make. However, I would prefer to go with someone like Bentancur. I think he gives us a lot more defensive stability. I don't think he takes the risks that someone like Yves Bissouma does on the ball. And ultimately, I think Bentancur is absolutely better at threading that ball through the line. However, I do think Yves Bissouma will come back in here for this game. He's had some really good performances of late. He scored a couple of goals outside the box. That goal-saving clearance off the line against Man City Wednesday night is majorly massive part of the reason why we're through as quarter-finalists, and I think he will be rewarded here with a shot in the starting lineup. Now, the big question is, does Postecoglou go with two number 10s, or does he bring in someone like Papamata Sarr to bring a little bit more combative spirit to the midfield? Personally, I think Postecoglou will go with two number 10s, and we're going to start with James Maddison this week. I think the fact that he didn't get a run against Man City means he's almost certain to start tomorrow. But one thing I've done is looked at the goal and assist contributions from Maddison, Kulusevski and Sarr, and they're quite comparable. They're more or less the same, though I do think Sarr and Kulusevski tend to put in more effort off the ball. So I think in order for James Maddison to secure a regular spot in this midfield going forward, to guarantee his place in this midfield going forward and not have the ins and the outs of the squad that he suffered since arriving at Tottenham Hotspur, he'll either need to become the team's standout creative force, head and shoulders above the likes of Kulusevski or Papamata Sarr, or simply step up his defensive work rate to match that of Papamata Sarr's or Kulusevski. So I do think Maddison will play here. However, personally, I would start Sarr. I think Aston Villa's midfield, it's scrappy, it's physical, it's relentless. I do think we'll need to fight for control, and Sarr could give us that edge as well as provide attack and support. But the fact that Maddison didn't play Wednesday means he was held back for this weekend. So I would expect to see him in a starring role. Hopefully he can step up and deliver. Come on, James. And then to complete the midfield tree, it will be Tottenham's best player so far this season, standout player by a mile so far this season, off the back of 2 assists Wednesday night. It is Dejan Kulusevski, aka Kuludinho. And I have no doubt Unai Emery is currently having a nightmare on how Aston Villa is going to limit Kulusevski's impact on this game. But if I'm being uber critical of Kulusevski, in order for him to really elevate his game further, I do think he needs to score more goals, especially in crucial moments. Big players must capitalise on their opportunities, and that chance against Man City is one he needs to take. Don't get me wrong, 2 assists on the night, but if he takes that chance, buries them with that third goal, all the headlines are about him, and all of a sudden you're elevating. He's becoming a game changer. He's dominating games. He's pulling Spurs across the line. So for me, that's the next step he needs to take. Now, moving into the forward line, let's start with right wing, and it will be Bernardo Johnson, as many people have dubbed him. And let's be honest, since the October break, I do think the Welshman has struggled to find the net, largely due to a lack of scoring opportunities that were previously being provided to him when he was on that scoring run. But then this raises the question, what else does Brennan Johnson bring to the table? Spurs fans are understandably asking if he can contribute by creating chances, and that still remains an open question until Brennan Johnson does something about it. Without goals or assists, his impact has been limited in recent weeks. So if he's not going to score goals, he's going to have to start providing goals. Let's go, Brennan Johnson. Over to left wing. And to be brutally honest with you, with Matty Cash's history of injuring Tottenham players, Matt Doherty, then Rodrigo Bentancur, of course, last season, for me, it more comes down to who's going to be the sacrificial lamb. For me, I think when it comes to Son, we can't really afford him to be out for a long period of time, as Matty Cash's tackles seem to deliver to Spurs players. And with Mikey Moore, I think it'd be absolutely devastating to his development. So I do think Werner might have to step up here and take one for the team. But in all seriousness though, guys, I do think we will see the return of El Capitan, Sonny, who of course has missed the last 3 games due to a grade 2 thigh strain. Postecoglou has basically said some will face a late fitness test ahead of the game. However, I'd be very surprised if we don't see him. I think Postecoglou's playing mind games. I think Sonny will start, and hopefully we see the Sonny that came on and absolutely devastated West Ham. Let's go, Sonny. And then moving up front, I mean, there's a toss-up. You look at Dominic Solanke, who's absolutely out on his feet after 70 minutes, and I don't blame him. The work rate that guy put in Wednesday night, and he's played a lot of football for Tottenham recently. Or do you go with someone like Richarlison, who had a massive opportunity in front of goal the other night, spurned it, but worked his absolute cock off, working backwards, helping Destiny Udogie, doubling up at left back, something Werner didn't really do. However, I do think it will be Dominic Solanke who starts up front here again, probably get an hour, 65 minutes, and then you will see Richarlison enter the fray. Now, when it comes to Solanke, I feel sorry for the guy because he was brought to Tottenham to score goals, and while he hasn't been delivering, it's not due to a lack of ability. It's simply down to the fact that we're not creating chances for Dominic Solanke. The quality around him simply hasn't been enough for him to thrive. Werner, Johnson, they don't provide anything from out wide. And I think he's going through similar struggles to what Son dealt with up front last season. But despite this, he works tirelessly, pressing selflessly, holding up the play, battling defenders, setting up teammates. And hopefully tomorrow is the day all those around him repay his relentless effort on unselfish play. Guys, that's my predicted lineup. That's my reasonings behind it. Please give me your predicted lineup and your reasonings behind it in the comment section. Let me know if there's anything you disagree with or anything that you think I've said that you have agreed with. And most importantly, give me your thoughts and your score prediction ahead of the big game tomorrow. But guys, that's it from me. Go and get an early night. I'll see you back here at 11 a.m. for the pre-match build-up. Let's go. Come on, you Spurs. In the big hands we trust. We never stop.